Okay, so whether you're a Democratic or Republican administration, at some level, there's going to be a problem with transparency. Every administration lies about one issue or another, but when it comes to the Trump administration, the lies are unprecedented. They lie sociopathically. Even when it benefits them to tell the truth, they will choose to lie. That is what happens when you have the White House run by a con man and a criminal. It permeates to the rest of the administration, and they're all lying about one issue or another, stepping on each other's toes. They can't even keep up with all the lies. It's utterly pathetic and disgusting. Trump is out here lying about his MRI, which he had, saying that it's like part of a routine physical, which we all know is not true. We know that he's having problems with his ankles. We see them swollen. He has bruises on his hands, face is drooping. He's slurring his words. We know that he's having some kind of problem with dementia. At this point, the lies are out of control. He's going around trying to bury the Epstein files. He's fighting with other Republicans in Congress because of the Epstein files. He's trying to cover it up, lie after lie after lie. This is where we're at. Now, Donald Trump is on Air Force One talking to reporters, and they're asking him about his MRI. And he's saying it's just part of a routine physical. Let's take a look at Donald Trump talking to reporters, and we'll start with the MRI. Take a look.
Mr. President, could you tell us why you needed to get an MRI? I understand that the results were good, but what was it for?
Because it's part of my physical. Getting an MRI is very standard. Well, you think I shouldn't have it? Other people get it.
Typically, an MRI
I had an MRI.
Specific part of your body.
Here's what the story is. I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor. That's it. But I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year, and the result was outstanding.
Was it your brain?
Did you
or
know?
your heart?
I have no idea what they analyzed, but whatever they analyzed it well, and they said that I had as good a result as they've ever seen. Now,
there you go. Donald Trump telling reporters that his doctor told him that it was the best MRI he's ever seen. I mean, not only that, but he's telling reporters that it's part of a routine physical, which we all know is false. If you've ever done a physical, you know that you never get an MRI. An MRI is done when you have an issue with a specific part of your body, and doctors need to see what's going on in that specific part of your body. You don't just get an MRI for no reason during a routine physical. So lie number one, complete and utter lie for no apparent reason whatsoever. Now Donald Trump is telling reporters that we're going to do nuclear testing like all of the other countries are doing. No other countries are doing nuclear testing. No other countries are dropping nuclear warheads testing like we did back in the 50s and 60s. That's not happening. It doesn't exist. The only country that does that is North Korea, and they're a rogue, dictatorial, authoritarian regime. No other modern democracy or country in the world is doing nuclear testing. Let's take a look at Donald Trump talking about how we want to do nuclear testing like every other country in the world. Lie number two. Take a look.
But we will do nuclear testing like other countries do. We have more nuclear weapons than any other country, and we have to test.
Other countries do.
So after Donald Trump's lying, talking about how he wants to do nuclear testing like every other country, the reporter then goes on to ask him about the Jeffrey Epstein emails where it states in the emails that Donald Trump knew about the girls, and we all know that he did. I've gone over all of the evidence in my other videos of how good of friends they were. He invited Jeffrey Epstein to his wedding. He brought his kids around him. All of the pictures and video evidence, all of the emails. Donald Trump's name has been in the Epstein files more than any other name, more than anyone else. We know that he knew. He knows all of this, but the reporter asks him about this, and he gets really nasty where they treats this female reporter disgustingly. We all know how Donald Trump treats women, so it's not surprising whatsoever, but take a look.
His emails when he said you knew about the girls?
I know nothing about that. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase.
Sir,
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Go ahead.
Incriminating in the file, sir. Why acting as if...
Quiet, McGee.
So there you go. Donald Trump completely unhinged, yelling at this female reporter, telling her to be quiet, bringing up other people that might be included in the Epstein files, like Bill Clinton, when all he has to do is release the Epstein files and we can see everyone included in those documents, but he doesn't want to release them all. He wants to bring up specific people to deflect off of himself because he knows he's mentioned in the Epstein files more than any other person. Just release them and we can see everyone that's included. He's even fighting with other people in Congress, having fallout with Marjorie Taylor Greene over this because he needs yes men around him because he's a narcissist and a man-child. And so if anyone doesn't say yes to him all the time or brings up something that might be factually correct, that might go against something that he believes in, he'll just completely drop them and go on an insane Truth Social text spree against them. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, take a look at this, calling out Trump because he attacked her on Truth Social, completely unhinged because of the Epstein files. This is what she has to say. President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. Of course, that's what he does. That's why I'm making this video. He's the liar in chief. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge. The Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. So he's doing that to scare the other Republicans, right? It's astonishing really how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, that he actually goes to this level, right? Then she goes on to say, but really most Americans wish that he would fight this hard to help forgotten men and women of America who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke, trying to feed their families, and are losing hope of ever achieving the American dream. That's what I voted for. I have supported President Trump. So there you go. Basically, she's saying, I wish he would work as hard as he is trying to obstruct and hide these Epstein files on things that really matter, like helping the American people, right? So he's attacking his fellow Republicans. He's just losing it, completely unhinged. As I mentioned, he's mentioned in the Epstein files more than any other person. Let's listen to Jen Psaki break it down, and she mentions this, that he's mentioned more than any other person. Let's listen to her break this down more in the Epstein files, these new revelations, and we'll react from there. Take a look.
Today, Trump posted on Truth Social that he would be asking the Justice Department and the FBI to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, Democratic donor Reid Hoffman, and J.P. Morgan Chase. Now, all of those names are also referenced in these Epstein emails. Attorney General Pam Bondi dutifully, of course she did, followed up by announcing she would launch that investigation for her boss, even though she previously said that there was no one left to investigate in this case. Now, set aside for a second the fact that if Trump really wanted to shed light on those men's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, he could simply release the troves of files currently in his Justice Department's possession. But there is one name that is conspicuously absent from that list of Epstein associates. The good folks at Courier Newsroom have compiled all of the more than 23,000 Epstein emails into a searchable database, which is quite a service. And the one name that appears more than any other in all of those emails is Donald Trump's. The Wall Street Journal has even created a handy visualization guide to show just how much each figure is mentioned over time in these emails, also a service. The blue dots here represent each of the Epstein emails that mention former President Clinton. These ones represent each time the emails mention former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. And these ones represent all the mentions of Donald Trump. Far more, by a lot, than any of the people Trump just decided to investigate. And that is just from these 23,000 emails. I mean, who knows how many times Trump has mentioned in the estimated 100,000 files the Department of Justice is still refusing to release.
Okay, so there you go. Donald Trump mentioned in the Epstein files more than any other person. Yet he's out here talking about Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, any other person that might be mentioned in the Epstein files. But wow, interestingly, he's not mentioning himself, doesn't talk about himself at all. As actually, he mentions that he wasn't even good friends with Jeffrey Epstein, that he didn't even really know him that well. When we have thousands and thousands of emails and pieces of evidence, we have video footage, we have pictures, we have everything that links them two together. But Donald Trump doesn't know anything about what Jeffrey Epstein did, or wasn't that good of friends with him, fell out with him many, many, many years ago. all of this stuff. He's obstructing. He's trying to keep this information from coming out. All he has to do is release it, as Jen Psaki said, right? But him and Pam Bondi, his AG, which the relationship there is completely unprecedented in terms of her working for Trump as opposed to being a separate entity, right? The Justice Department does not work for the President of the United States, but Pam Bondi is a different, Kool-Aid drinker. She's a MAGA follower and a follower of Donald Trump, right? The dear leader. And so this is where we're at. We're at a point where we can't get the information out. He's out there lying. They're all lying, stepping on each other's toes, coming up with lies. They can't even keep up with all of them. I mean, it's just this whole situation, the Trump administration, everything that he does is unprecedented and corrupt. And so this is where we're at. We're in a situation where the president of the United States was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, the worst person in the world, and we can't even get the information to come out. If you believe in economic justice, if you believe in fighting for the working class, if you believe in anti-political corruption and anti-corporate greed, please consider subscribing. That's what this channel is about, and I would really appreciate it. It would go a long way in helping out the channel. See you in the next one. Appreciate it.